The red pool closed, violation tape stretched across Derek Chapman's backyard gate like police crime scene barriers. Melissa Hartwell stood triumphant on his patio, wielding her clipboard like a court summons, while her phone recorded what she clearly believed was evidence of municipal code violations. This illegal swimming facility is being shut down effective immediately under HOA Emergency Safety Protocol Section 12B. She announced to her camera, "Dangerous non-compliance with pool safety standards puts our entire community at risk." But as Derek watched this performance from his kitchen window, his city-issued inspection tablet buzzed with an incoming complaint. The same address, his address, filed by someone claiming professional pool safety expertise who clearly had no idea she was targeting the one person in Texas with actual authority over every pool code she was attempting to cite. What Melissa didn't know was that Derek had been waiting 6 months for exactly this moment. What Melissa didn't realize was that Derek wasn't just some homeowner who'd built a backyard pool. He was the certified municipal inspector who'd personally written half the pool safety codes she was claiming to enforce. By 5 p.m., Melissa would be explaining to actual city officials why she'd filed false violation reports. Derek would be watching her expertise crumble under real regulatory scrutiny. And the $15,000 fine that followed would teach every wannabe safety coordinator in Texas the difference between HOA theater and actual municipal authority. The pool safety system Melissa tried to weaponize would become her legal education. You know, in my 12 years as a pool inspector, I've seen people try all kinds of creative interpretations of safety codes, but what happened that Tuesday morning in Riverside Meadows was something special, a masterclass in how fake expertise can destroy someone's life when they target the wrong person. If you've ever dealt with a neighbor who thinks internet research makes them a technical expert, you're going to want to see how this power trip ended. Derek Chapman lived for precision. 12 years as the city's senior pool safety inspector had taught him that water safety wasn't about opinions or politics, it was about science, engineering, and lives. At 38, he'd certified over 3,000 residential pools, investigated dozens of safety violations, and testified in court cases involving drowning liability. His own pool was a masterpiece of compliance. Every safety feature exceeded minimum standards: automatic covers, compliant fencing, proper drainage, emergency equipment, chemical balance monitoring. Derek's backyard was essentially a textbook example of what every pool should be. The installation had cost $35,000 and represented 2 years of careful planning. With every component chosen to showcase proper safety engineering, Derek took pride in educating homeowners about real safety requirements versus common misconceptions. What he couldn't tolerate was people who confused internet research with professional expertise, especially when they used fake authority to harass others. Riverside Meadows embodied Texas, suburban living, located in Cypress County. The development featured mid-range homes with large backyards, perfect for pools. Summer temperatures regularly hit 95 degrees, making pools essential rather than luxury amenities. The HOA governed 200 homes with monthly fees of $150. Most residents appreciated reasonable community standards. But the board had recently attracted control-seeking personalities who treated minor positions like major governmental roles. Property values averaged $250,000. Pool ownership was common. Roughly 60% of homes had swimming pools. The community's proximity to 3 major swimming facilities made water safety a constant concern, which the HOA used to justify increasingly strict safety oversight. Derek had moved to Riverside Meadows specifically for the large lot that could accommodate his dream pool design. After years of inspecting substandard installations, and he'd wanted to build something that showcased proper safety engineering. The pool represented renewal and professional pride. Every tile selected personally, every permit filed correctly. Every safety regulation exceeded voluntarily. His relationship with neighbors had been positive until Melissa Hartwell joined the HOA board 3 months ago. She'd immediately appointed herself pool safety coordinator, a position that didn't officially exist but allowed her to harass pool owners with amateur inspections and bogus violation notices. Derek had received 4 citations for violations that weren't actually violations under any code he'd ever seen. Melissa Hartwell wielded her self-created HOA position like a medical degree. A former insurance adjuster who'd never actually worked in pool safety, She compensated for lack of expertise with aggressive enforcement of rules she'd invented. Blonde, sharp-featured, and perpetually armed with printouts from pool safety websites. Melissa treated every neighborhood pool like a crime scene waiting to happen. Her husband worked in oil and gas, traveled constantly, and had learned to avoid her safety crusades. Melissa's 3 teenagers provided justification for her campaigns. To protecting children was her rallying cry for every complaint. She'd filed 17 formal violations with various homeowners, none of which had resulted in actual citations from real authorities. The confrontation erupted at 10 a.m. on a scorching Tuesday. Derek was testing his automated chemical balance system when Melissa's voice shattered the morning quiet like fingernails on a chalkboard. Derek Chapman. This is official HOA business. She marched across his backyard carrying an official-looking folder. I'm conducting mandatory pool safety inspection under Emergency Protocol 12B. Derek paused his testing, processing the audacity. There's no such protocol, Melissa, and you don't have authority to conduct inspections. Actually, as pool safety coordinator, I have responsibility for community welfare. She produced her phone and began recording. This pool presents multiple safety violations that endanger neighborhood children. Derek watched her theatrical performance with professional curiosity. Show me specific code violations. Improper fencing height. Inadequate signage. Missing safety equipment. Chemical storage violations. She rattled off a list that sounded impressive to someone who didn't understand pool regulations, all of which are incorrect. Derek replied calmly. Melissa's voice rose to performance level. I'm filing formal complaints with city code enforcement, health department, and child protective services. This dangerous facility will be shut down pending proper compliance inspection. She began stretching red tape across his gate while narrating to her phone camera, documenting closure of non-compliant swimming facility that poses imminent danger to community children. Derek felt familiar professional irritation, the same frustration he'd experienced dealing with people who confused confidence with competence. Melissa was creating official-looking documentation for violations that didn't exist, threatening government agencies she didn't understand, and claiming authority she didn't possess. Melissa, you're filing false reports with municipal agencies. I'm protecting children from your negligence. Real authorities will appreciate my thorough documentation. She continued her performance, unaware that Derek's inspection tablet was automatically logging every false claim she made. Derek pulled out his city inspection tablet and badge. Since you're concerned about proper authority, let me show you something. Melissa paused her recording. What's that? My municipal inspector credentials. I'm the senior pool safety inspector for the entire county. Every code you've cited is either non-existent or incorrectly applied. He began documenting her false tape barrier and fraudulent violation claims. You've just filed false reports with city agencies about a pool that exceeds all safety requirements. Melissa's confident expression flickered like a candle in wind. That's impossible. Your emergency protocol doesn't exist in any official documentation. Want to see the real codes? Derek accessed his inspection database on the tablet, showing Melissa his 12 years of municipal certification. Pool after pool appeared on screen. Thousands of inspections, violations, approvals, and safety consultations he'd personally conducted. Melissa, I wrote the inspection checklist you're pretending to use. The improper fencing height you cited? My fence is 6 inches above minimum standard. Missing safety equipment? I have twice the required emergency gear. Chemical storage violations? My system is computerized and monitored 24/7. He pulled up the city's pool safety ordinance on his tablet. Here's the actual code. Section 15. Tres covers fencing. Mine exceeds requirements. Section 18. 2 covers chemical storage. Mine is compliant. Section 22. 1 covers emergency equipment. I have professional-grade gear. Melissa stared at the official documentation, her confidence visibly cracking. But I researched everything online. Pool safety websites, HOA forums, consumer guides, none of which are actual municipal codes. Derek explained patiently. You've been citing blog posts and opinion articles as legal requirements. He showed her his inspection history for the neighborhood. I've personally certified 43 pools in Riverside Meadows. Everyone meets or exceeds safety standards because I inspect them professionally. Melissa wasn't backing down. If anything, Derek's revelations seemed to trigger deeper stubbornness. I don't care about your supposed credentials. HOA authority supersedes individual claims, she called loudly to Amy Chen, who was gardening nearby. Amy, come witness this man claiming to be some kind of government official. The HOA has responsibility for community safety that overrides personal interests. I'm calling the real authorities to investigate false impersonation of city officials. Melissa began dialing frantically. Yes, I need to report someone impersonating a city inspector to cover up pool safety violations. Derek watched with professional fascination as she doubled down on false reporting. Melissa, you're filing additional false complaints while being shown evidence that your original complaints were incorrect. I know what I researched. Pool safety is serious business. And I won't be intimidated by fake badges and made-up authority. Each word created additional documentation for harassment charges. Amy Chen approached cautiously, obviously curious about the commotion. Is everything okay? Derek showed her his city badge and tablet. I'm the county pool inspector. Mrs. Hartwell has been filing false violation reports. Amy's eyes widened. You're the inspector? I'm a pediatric nurse. I've been documenting her harassment of families with children. She filed complaints about my kiddie pool for inadequate supervision standards. There are no supervision standards for private pools. Derek confirmed. Amy pulled out her phone. I've got recordings of her threatening multiple families with fake violations. She told the Johnsons their pool deck was criminally non-compliant. Pool decks aren't regulated by criminal code. Derek noted. Amy began recording the current confrontation. This needs to be documented for other families she's harassing. Derek had clear objectives now. First, document Melissa's false reporting and harassment pattern for municipal authorities. Second, educate the HOA about actual pool safety requirements versus invented regulations. Third, protect other homeowners from continued harassment through official channels. He texted his supervisor, Captain Rivera. Need backup for false reporting incident. HOA member claiming pool inspector authority. Rivera responded immediately. On my way. Document everything for harassment charges. Derek began comprehensive documentation of Melissa's false tape barrier, fraudulent violation claims, and continuing false reports to authorities. Her fake expertise was about to meet real municipal authority. Captain Rivera arrived in his official city vehicle, immediately recognizing the situation from Derek's description. A former fire marshal with 28 years of municipal experience, Rivera had zero tolerance for people who impersonated authority. Derek, what's the situation? Rivera approached with clipboard and municipal authority that immediately commanded respect. Captain, this is Melissa Hartwell. She's been filing false pool violation reports, claiming inspector authority she doesn't possess, and harassing homeowners with fabricated safety codes. Derek showed Rivera the documentation on his tablet. She's filed false reports with code enforcement about my pool specifically, claiming violations that don't exist in any municipal ordinance. Rivera examined Derek's pool with professional appreciation. This installation exceeds every safety standard we've established. Automated covers, compliant fencing, professional-grade emergency equipment. Melissa interrupted desperately. I demand to see your supervisor. These men are conspiring to cover up serious safety violations. Rivera turned to her with the patience of someone who dealt with this exact situation many times. Ma'am, I am the supervisor, Captain Rivera, Municipal Safety Division. Mr. Chapman is our senior pool inspector, but I researched everything. Pool safety requirements, HOA authority, community protection standards. Ma'am, show me your certification in pool safety inspection. Melissa faltered. I don't need certification. I have HOA authority and common sense. Pool inspection requires municipal certification, engineering knowledge, and legal training. Common sense doesn't qualify you to file violation reports with city agencies. Rivera began documenting the false tape barrier and fraudulent violation notices Melissa had created. Rivera's investigation revealed the scope of Melissa's fake authority campaign. She'd filed 37 complaints with various city departments over 6 months, claiming pool safety expertise she didn't possess. Ma'am, impersonating municipal authority is a criminal offense under Texas Code 37. She? Filing false reports is a separate offense under Code 37. Bah. Melissa face went pale. I'm not impersonating anything. I'm HOA Pool Safety Coordinator. Show me official documentation of this position. Melissa produced HOA board minutes where she'd appointed herself to the non-existent position. Rivera reviewed them with growing concern. Ma'am, HOAs don't have authority to create pool inspection positions. Only certified municipal inspectors can conduct official safety inspections, Derek added. She's been threatening homeowners with violations that don't exist in any legal code. Rivera pulled up city records on his tablet. Mrs. Hartwell, you've filed false violation reports about pools I've personally certified as compliant. You've wasted significant municipal resources investigating complaints based on fabricated standards. Amy Chen provided her phone recordings of Melissa threatening other families. She told the Washingtons their diving board was illegally installed when it meets all city requirements. Diving board regulations are clearly defined in municipal code. Derek confirmed. Their installation is completely compliant. Rivera made extensive notes. Ma'am, this appears to be systematic harassment using false authority claims. Other neighbors began emerging as word spread about the confrontation. The Johnson family approached with obvious relief. Officer, is this about Melissa's pool inspections? She's been terrorizing our family for months with fake violation notices. Rivera took their statement while Derek reviewed their pool's actual compliance status. The Johnsons' pool exceeds safety requirements. Every violation claim misses. Hartwell filed was incorrect. The Washington family joined them. She threatened to have our diving board removed by city order. We spent $2,000 on legal consultation before learning her claims were false. Amy Chen coordinated neighbor testimonies while recording everything for evidence. She's harassed at least 12 families with fake authority claims. Derek realized this was bigger than personal harassment. Melissa had been terrorizing the entire community with fabricated expertise. Rivera began documenting systematic false reporting that would require criminal investigation. Rivera established clear objectives. Document all false reports. Investigate harassment pattern. And pursue criminal charges for impersonating authority. Derek would provide technical expertise on actual pool codes versus Melissa's fabrications. Captain Rivera called for additional support. Need detective for systematic false reporting investigation. Suspect has filed dozens of fraudulent municipal complaints. Derek coordinated with affected neighbors to provide testimony and evidence. Melissa's fake expertise was about to face comprehensive municipal investigation that would expose every false claim she'd made. Detective Sarah Walsh arrived within 20 minutes. Bringing expertise in fraud investigation and municipal authority abuse, she'd handled similar cases where people impersonated officials for personal power. But the scope of Melissa's operation was immediately concerning. Captain Rivera, what's the scope of this investigation? Rivera briefed her while Derek provided technical documentation. Suspect has been filing false pool violation reports for 6 months, claiming inspector authority, and harassing homeowners with fabricated safety codes. Walsh reviewed Melissa's false violation notices with growing alarm. These citations reference non-existent ordinances and claim authority that doesn't exist in any municipal structure. Derek showed her his inspection database. Every pool she's cited as dangerous has been professionally certified as compliant. She's essentially fabricated an entire regulatory framework. Melissa, meanwhile, had called her husband and was frantically explaining her situation with the desperation of someone watching their world collapse. Robert, they're claiming I don't have authority for pool inspections. You need to get down here immediately. Mrs. Hartwell, Walsh interrupted. You're under investigation for impersonating municipal authority and filing false reports. You have the right to remain silent. This is harassment. I'm protecting children from dangerous pools. Ma'am, show me one child who was actually endangered by any pool you've cited. Melissa couldn't provide specific examples of actual danger, only theoretical risks she'd imagined based on internet research. Her entire campaign had been built on manufactured fear rather than legitimate safety concerns. Walsh documented her false authority claims while Rivera coordinated with affected neighbors. The pattern was clear: systematic harassment using fabricated expertise to intimidate homeowners who lacked technical knowledge to challenge her claims. Mrs. Hartwell, You've claimed inspector authority you don't possess, filed false violation reports about compliant pools, and wasted significant municipal resources. This constitutes criminal behavior under multiple statutes. Walsh's investigation expanded rapidly as more neighbors came forward with evidence of Melissa's harassment campaign. The Martin family provided documentation of her threatening legal action over their pool lighting. She claimed our LED pool lights violated municipal electrical safety codes and threatened city enforcement action. Mrs. Martin explained with obvious relief at finally being able to speak freely. Derek reviewed their installation with professional thoroughness. Pool lighting meets all electrical standards. There are no violations of any municipal code. The Chen family showed recordings of Melissa demanding access to their backyard for official safety inspections. Her voice on the recordings was authoritative and intimidating, designed to pressure homeowners into compliance. She claimed HOA authority superseded property rights and threatened criminal charges if we refused entry. Mr. Chen reported. Walsh documented each false authority claim, while Rivera coordinated with city legal department. The scope of Melissa's fraud was expanding beyond simple harassment into systematic impersonation of municipal authority that had affected dozens of families. Mrs. Hartwell, you've claimed powers that only certified inspectors possess, threatened criminal enforcement you can't authorize, and filed false reports about compliant installations. This is serious criminal behavior. Melissa's responses became increasingly desperate as the evidence mounted against her. I researched everything. Pool safety is important. Someone needs to protect children. Child protection is handled by trained professionals, not self-appointed neighborhood coordinators. Walsh explained patiently. Your intentions don't excuse criminal impersonation of authority. Derek provided Walsh with comprehensive documentation comparing Melissa's false citations against actual municipal codes. Every claim she'd made was either incorrect or completely fabricated, demonstrating systematic disregard for actual regulations. Melissa's husband Robert arrived, looking confused and embarrassed, clearly unprepared for the scene he encountered. Melissa, what's going on? You said there was some misunderstanding about your HOA position? Robert, these people are trying to stop me from protecting our community. They claim Derek is some kind of inspector, but I know he's just a regular homeowner. Derek showed Robert his municipal credentials and 12 years of inspection history with calm professionalism. Sir, your wife has been impersonating inspector authority and filing false violation reports. Robert's face went ashen as he processed the implications. Melissa, you told me you had official training for pool safety coordination. I do have training. I researched everything online. I know what I'm talking about. Ma'am, Walsh interjected. Online research doesn't constitute professional certification. You've been claiming authority you don't legally possess. Robert looked mortified as the situation became clear. Officer, I had no idea she was misrepresenting her qualifications. She told me the HOA had given her official inspection authority. Word spread quickly through Riverside Meadows about Melissa's fake authority exposure. Neighbors who'd been intimidated by her threats began sharing their experiences openly, creating a cascade of evidence against her harassment campaign. The Thompson family revealed they'd removed their pool slide based on Melissa's false citation, claiming it violated municipal safety standards. We spent $1,500 removing equipment that was actually compliant with all codes. Mrs. Thompson reported with obvious frustration. Derek confirmed their slide had met all safety requirements before removal. Mrs. Hartwell cost this family significant money based on false information. Walsh documented each case of financial harm caused by Melissa's fraudulent authority claims. The investigation was revealing systematic fraud that had affected dozens of families and cost them thousands of dollars in unnecessary modifications. Amy Chen began coordinating neighborhood support for formal complaints against Melissa's harassment pattern. The community was finally fighting back against her fake expertise with the backing of real municipal authority. Detective Walsh gathered all parties for final documentation of Melissa's systematic fraud. The confrontation took place in Derek's backyard, surrounded by the pool that had triggered the entire investigation, a pool that represented everything Melissa had gotten wrong about safety regulations. Mrs. Hartwell, you've been claiming pool inspector authority for 6 months, filing false violation reports, and harassing homeowners with fabricated safety codes. How do you respond to these allegations? Melissa's final defense was pure desperation mixed with delusion. I studied pool safety extensively. I know more about protecting children than some bureaucrat with a badge. Derek gestured toward his professional-grade pool installation with quiet confidence. Melissa, show me one actual safety violation in this installation. The fencing is too low. It's 6 inches above minimum height requirement. The chemical storage is dangerous. It's automated and monitored continuously. The emergency equipment is inadequate. I have professional rescue gear that exceeds all standards. Walsh documented each false claim as Melissa made it, watching her dig herself deeper with every incorrect statement. Ma'am, if you're demonstrating systematic ignorance of actual safety codes while claiming expertise you don't possess. Robert Hartwell watched his wife's meltdown with obvious horror. Melissa, stop talking. Please. I won't stop. Someone needs to protect children from dangerous pools. Derek pulled up his tablet, showing municipal pool safety statistics with the calm authority of real expertise. In 12 years of inspections, properly maintained residential pools have had 0 serious safety incidents in this county. Your dangerous pools are statistically safer than bathtubs. But children could drown, which is why we have professional safety codes enforced by trained inspectors, not self-appointed neighborhood coordinators. Walsh concluded. Melissa's expertise crumbled under professional scrutiny, as every claim she'd made was systematically debunked by actual municipal data and Derek's documented experience. Captain Rivera announced the municipal response to Melissa's fraud campaign with the gravity the situation deserved. Mrs. Hartwell, you filed 37 false violation reports, impersonated inspector authority, and harassed homeowners with fabricated safety codes. The city is pursuing criminal charges. Charges include impersonating municipal authority under Texas Code 37, filing false reports under Code 37, and harassment under Code 42, Derek provided technical testimony for each false violation claim with professional precision. Every pool misses. Hartwell, cited as dangerous, has been professionally certified as compliant. Her violations exist only in her imagination. Walsh added, the systematic nature of this fraud indicates premeditation and ongoing criminal intent. Mrs. Hartwell knew she lacked authority, but continued claiming inspector powers. The HOA board was contacted about Melissa's unauthorized position creation. Board President Jennifer Walsh confirmed that pool safety coordinator was never an official position approved by the community. Mrs. Hartwell appointed herself to a position that doesn't exist and used it to harass homeowners with fake authority. The board president reported. Municipal Legal Department confirmed they would seek restitution for wasted resources investigating Melissa's false reports. 37 false investigations cost taxpayers approximately $8,000 in municipal resources. Captain Rivera reported. Melissa's final meltdown was complete psychological collapse as reality crashed through her delusions. This is conspiracy. Derek planned this whole thing. He probably isn't even a real inspector. Derek showed her his official certification, signed by the state of Texas and renewed annually for 12 years. I've personally inspected over 3,000 pools. My expertise is documented and verified, but I studied everything. I know pool safety. You studied blog posts and opinion articles, not actual municipal codes. Walsh explained with professional patience. Robert Hartwell looked devastated by his wife's public humiliation. Melissa, you've embarrassed our family and harassed our neighbors based on fake expertise. Melissa continued ranting about conspiracies and corruption while Walsh documented her complete disconnect from reality. Her fake authority had been thoroughly exposed, and she couldn't accept that her internet research didn't qualify as professional expertise. Walsh placed Melissa under arrest for impersonating municipal authority and filing false reports. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. Melissa was charged with multiple criminal offenses and faced restitution payments to affected homeowners. Her fake pool safety expertise had resulted in real criminal consequences that would follow her for years. The Riverside Meadows HOA held emergency meeting to address Melissa's unauthorized authority claims and systematic harassment of homeowners. Derek attended as expert witness to explain actual pool safety requirements versus fabricated regulations. Mrs. Hartwell created a position that doesn't exist, claimed authority she didn't possess, and filed false violation reports about compliant pools. Derek explained to the board with professional clarity. Board President Jennifer Walsh announced immediate policy changes. All future safety inspections will be conducted only by certified municipal authorities. No HOA member has authority to conduct official inspections or file violation reports. Derek received thank you letters from 23 families who'd been harassed by Melissa's fake expertise. The Thompson family was reimbursed by HOA insurance for equipment they'd unnecessarily removed based on false citations. Amy Chen coordinated neighborhood support for affected families. Derek's professional knowledge saved our community from continued harassment by someone who confused internet research with actual expertise. Local news covered the story as warning about HOA authority abuse. Pool inspector exposes fake safety coordinator ran on Channel 8. Featuring interviews with relieved homeowners and Derek explaining the difference between real and imagined authority, Derek's municipal supervisor praised his professional handling of the situation. Inspector Chapman demonstrated exactly how real expertise differs from amateur pretension. Texas courts sentenced Melissa to 90 days, jail suspended, 300 hours community service, and $4,000 in fines and restitution. She was banned from claiming any municipal authority or filing pool-related complaints. Her systematic fraud became case study in municipal training programs about authority impersonation. Derek testified at state conference about protecting homeowners from fake expertise and the importance of credential verification. Robert Hartwell filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and criminal behavior. The children remained with him while Melissa moved to Oklahoma to avoid community embarrassment. Derek discovered satisfaction in protecting homeowners from fake authority through professional expertise. His municipal work expanded to include HOA education about actual versus imagined regulatory powers. Riverside Meadows established Credential Verification Committee to prevent future authority fraud. All technical claims required professional documentation before community acceptance. This story demonstrates why professional credentials matter in technical fields like pool safety. Melissa Hartwell confused internet research with expertise, leading to criminal charges and community harm. Her downfall wasn't caused by conspiracy. It was caused by claiming authority she didn't possess. Real expertise requires training, certification, and accountability that amateur enthusiasts can't replicate through online research. When someone claims technical authority, verify their actual credentials before accepting their claims. Have you encountered fake experts in your community or workplace? What would you have done in Derek's situation when facing systematic harassment from someone claiming false authority? Share your own experiences with people who confused confidence with competence. These situations happen everywhere, and learning how others handled similar problems helps everyone recognize and respond to fake expertise. Speaking of fake authority, you won't believe what happened when a restaurant health inspector tried to shut down a family diner without realizing the owner's daughter was a public health attorney who'd been documenting code violations at the inspector's own favorite restaurants.